All right, episode for fresh news. Aba, Imamina Makwaba, Eba, Ghana politics avenue. Hana the trending political stories in Ghana. Onsa Wontumi Akano. Then ebusunya story edi bremi edamusunko. Eye Professor Frimpong former environmental minister. Ena ne ho ba asem wo NPP atwekrata som di na free party ni mo so won free akoye twema mentwi. Na yei na deputy secretary of the New Patriotic Party Ira Haruna Muhammad akwatwetwe nkomo ewo Joy Prime na nkomo de ba no ebia bo afra chairman Wontumi Abronye okeka se enyomo omu yi nyina no afi de party na tuni na esi form ye betwe omu nyina so ye be frefre omu nyina do omaba disciplinary committee na afi no why do code bobo why na anu yi papa bia farmer party mpanifo no ye betwe waso na yi na amanfo aka se na dada da matna wa afi na mo betwe Abronye anytime Wontumi aso omobone na omsempika omaka nyina ma ehu anka Professor Frimpong asemi ama anka mo betwe omaso Ngoti Haruna Muhammad oye deputy secretary of the New Patriotic Party ngoti ensema okekan ewo Joy Prime News about disciplinary actions against Chairman Wontumi and Chairman Abronye.
This meeting with the National Executive Committee, which is the neck of the party, we proceeded to the National Council. We considered the view of giving amnesty to persons who are before disciplinary committees who have been suspended in one way or other. Those who are still in the process have not yet completed. We granted amnesty and cautioned the rest of the members of the party. The powers were given to the National Party to crack the whip on people who will certainly come out with indisciplined measures or anti-party behavior. So people will be asking, why are we starting now? We had given amnesty and we had given caution to people, but some other people decide that no, they would not stay true to the rules of the game. And when they cross the line, certainly the party will issue such statements and guide them through the constitutional procedure.
Has the party contacted him?
In these particular circumstances, the party doesn't need to contact him with what he has said because he himself admittedly said on the interview that he doesn't consider himself as a member of the party.
Professor Frimpong, what?
Yes, that's why he said that he is in the NPP, that is the virtual NPP. And if you check out the Electoral Commission, there is no NPP that has been registered virtually with the Electoral Commission. There is only one corporate body, NPP, which is the New Patriotic Party, with the elephant as the symbol. And certainly, with his description, that is not the NPP he belongs. It means that he has moved. So we need to also facilitate his movement if he has not found a desire to have triggered an aspect of the Constitution to resign by himself. Then we are triggering an aspect of the Constitution, Article 391, and also relying on Article 444 of the party's Constitution to expel him from the party.
So you are willing as a party to expel Professor Frimpong from the party?
We are very certain. We are certain we've taken the decision and he's going to be expelled.
But he says nobody can expel him from the party.
That is his view, but we are going to expel him.
Okay. What did he say that actually merited that?
Every member of the party in Article 3 is supposed to hold the party in high esteem, defend the party, portray the good name of the party, either publicly or in any particular gathering. You can certainly go and sit down and describe the party you belong as fake. Immediately you come out and say your mother is fake, it means that you need to look for your mother. If you say your father is fake, you need to look for your father. It means that it's not the person that has given birth to you. So once you consider the NPP as fake, then you yourself, if you continue to be there, you are fake yourself. So once that description comes from him, and he was very certain, emphatic, he didn't mince his words. And he went further to say he doesn't consider himself as a member. So these are matters that are considered as misconduct. And misconduct in our party is supposed to be handled with those particular provisions that I have outlined and put out. And that's why my boss, the General Secretary, who himself is a lawyer, has penned his signature to a document that is being circulated of how we are going to expel him from the party.
If I'm not mistaken, about 8 months ago, Honorable Addo Asafo came out to actually speak against the party, said so many things that had happened to her, and she wasn't happy about it. The party did not expel her. You rather invited her for a conversation. Why are you not doing the same for Professor Frimpong?
Yes, when she did that, the General Secretary came out with a letter referring her to the Disciplinary Committee. every matter has a way you handle it. And in our Dagwani language, we say something that Janbi Kamal Malada Babushi, that if you have a walking stick, every walking stick has where you have to hold it. Her crime during that particular period was for her to be referred to the disciplinary committee, where we refer that to the disciplinary proceedings in Article 4 of our party's constitution. But in this particular matter, it is considered to be a misconduct that is expected to be expelled.
That was not a misconduct against the party?
That misconduct was supposed for her to be heard, for her to be taken to the procedure.
You don't think Professor Frimpong
for him,
should be
his
heard?
own cannot be heard.
Why?
Because he said he doesn't consider himself as a member again.
Okay.
So we could have also used Article 3, the current new constitution in Article 3, Article 3.8 of the party's constitution for a forfeiture. We could have used that one, but we want to facilitate his...
What does a 3.8 say? It's
a forfeiture. Once you say you are not longer a member, just as Dr. Nyaho Tamakulo, he said he's no longer a member of the party. He said so on 14th of October 2023, when he said he is a former member of the party, with the emergence of John Mahama as within the NDC cycles. So once he has said that he's no longer a member, that one, there's no negotiation. You completely forfeit your membership. We don't even need to write to you. We only do so in certain instances to make the general public aware that this is the stance of these particular individuals, as we did in the case of Yabo Abina Samoa, as we did in the case of Boniface and the others, Hobson and Co. These were just public statements to reaffirm the position of the party. Once you indicated that you are no longer a member of the party, or you support an independent candidate or another political party, you are free and you are no longer a member of the party.
So, effective when is he being expelled?
The party will issue a statement on that particular aspect. If there is the need for certain clarifications to be made, the General Secretary under his hand will issue a statement to that. But as we stand, there is no even for him to appear, because he himself has clearly indicated that he's no longer. If he had remained at the fake, he would have been called to answer questions and be taken through procedure. But he proceeded to say that he is no longer a member of the party.
Some people are of the opinion that this is a personal vendetta. Now, we take a look at Professor Frimpong Boateng, same person who brought a report about Galamsey against President Akuffo Addo then. And so there is some sort of hatred with regards to Professor Frimpong Boateng. So the party has decided to get rid of him.
If we wanted to get rid of him because of the report, we would have taken him off during that particular period.
Does the Constitution merit that at that time?
I'm saying that if we wanted to get rid of him, we would have do so during that period.
How would you have done that? Because if the Constitution doesn't say that, him writing that actually merits that he will be expelled, then you couldn't have done that.
Because it did not merit for us to do that. Because you are making reference to that report, that because of that report, we have a personal hatred for him.
That's what people are saying, not
me. I have never met him in person. I never went to his office. I'm one party officer who, when we're in government, I don't go to minister's office. I don't go to people's offices. My duty was to be in the party headquarters and work. And anybody at all can attest to this particular part, except Parliament. After Parliament, the party and the parliamentary group works hand in hand. And I move into Parliament day in and day out, go back to party headquarters. And the second places I go is the media houses. I'll come here, I'll go so many places to explain the policies and programs of the party and government. So I have not met him. We don't have any personal dealing with him. I've never seen him with my boss. He has never come to the party headquarters for this. I don't even know whether he knows Jason Kudia, because he himself personally said he has never met him. This is the General Secretary of the party, that he has never even met him. He was an appointee. That tells you, maybe Jombodu will also confirm, maybe he has never come to the party headquarters. So this is the man who is supposed to hold the party and be able to support the base of the party, who doesn't even know the General Secretary, has never met the General Secretary of the party. So in what personal view would we have against him? Akuffo was the president. He was the one who removed him. He wrote the report about His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo. He's not an executive of the party. He's not part of us who took the decision. We took the decision on the stance of the constitution of the party based on his own personal commentary. We couldn't have imported that commentary and deal with him. But he himself opted and elected himself to make those particular commentary. And we took a decisive decision to use the constitution of the party to expel him.
Fantastic. In your earlier submission, you did mention that there was going to be amnesty. Actually, there was amnesty. There was a letter granting amnesty to those who had been suspended and those who had even been expelled to come back to the party, right?
Yes, we had granted amnesty to people who have been suspended.
Okay.
And it excluded those who were forfeited. Okay. If you forfeit your membership, there is a clear procedure in the party's constitution as to how you come back. Okay. But when you are suspended, we can grant amnesty. Okay. So when we are granting the amnesty, you remember Addo was before a disciplinary committee. You remember Abronye was before a disciplinary committee. You remember that Wontumi was before a disciplinary committee. There were a host of others who were before disciplinary committee for proceedings, and the General Secretary made those particular referrals. They have indeed
Hold
appeared.
on, I want us to go back to Abronye. I like that you brought him up, and I'll definitely have to ask you questions about it. We all saw on social media Abronye reply that he was not appearing before the disciplinary committee. He was not going to answer to the disciplinary committee, but you never expelled him.
He was called before the disciplinary.
So he came?
He came.
Abronye came?
Abronye came before the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
He came before the disciplinary committee.
Did he apologize for his actions?
I'm not a member of the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
He came before the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
So when we went ahead to give the amnesty, fortunately, they fell within the period in which the amnesty was being given. And the amnesty got them. After the amnesty was given, there was a clear-cut instruction that anybody who flouted the rule from that moment will be given the appropriate sanction. And that is why the General Secretary was very quick enough to come out with a statement of expelling Professor Frimpong. It's very unfortunate, but that is the decision.
Don't you think you need everybody at this time, especially if you want to get back into power?
We would have wished that every Ghanaian would have been supporting us as a political party. But because we have different shade of opinions and ideological differences, many people might not share the views of the New Patriotic Party. And he decides that he's no more going to share our views. And he's free to go. There is freedom of association. Whilst there is a freedom of speech, there is a limitation, because where your right ends is where somebody's responsibility starts from. So he has reached, he has crossed the limit, and we needed to apply the sanction within the party's constitution. Okay. We wish him well.
You wish him well?
Yes.
But you haven't expelled him yet. So
yeah, but as at now, I don't think there is something that is going to stop him from being expelled. All right.
Anyway, 17 days more?
Yes, 17, for us to have a very successful elections one day again, because we are the fortunate national executives to have organized 2 successive presidential primaries. We did so in November 2023, very successful. The elections committee had worked very tirelessly. This time they have worked. We have improved on what we did in the 2023. And I would want to say kudos to the elections committee and the party leadership for putting these particular processes through. We also want to thank the rank and file of the party for bearing with us, for taking the decision to have earlier presidential primaries to be able to get a candidate ahead of time and prepare towards wresting power from the incompetent NDC in 2028. So all the measures have been put through. We've set up an intra-party advisory committee, which you christened it as IPAC, within the Presidential Elections Committee. Membership of all aspirants have been put through. Is that 3 members or 2 members have been put through, and they have constant meetings as to how they deal with matters concerning the elections. Album issues were also being addressed by us sending teams to the various regions for validation. In fact, every constituency, all the 276 constituencies were met, and we validated the album with regards to persons who have forfeited their membership and others, exception of suspension because of the amnesty. We also looked at people who have died and people who have traveled, and we took certain decisions on that. We came back with the album. The National IT Directorate has worked on it, also giving copies to the presidential aspirant. They went through, they raised their reservations. They came back to the National Party headquarters, which is being addressed. Then we went ahead to also come out with a system of checking your name in the album. Then we went ahead to do a physical exhibition for everybody to also check. After the exhibition, the albums have come back. The intra-advisory committee has been meeting to resolve the challenges that have been raised, absence of picture, misspelling of names, and people who are supposed to be out, they are still there. If there is any duplication, all those matters are being looked at by the intra-advisory. Any matter that concerns the elections, be it a region or constituency, must be channeled through your representative at the IPAC for it to be addressed. 5
people on the ballot paper. Now, talking about that, in 2023, there were a lot of things that were said. One, the system was behind one particular person, and that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It led to Honorable Alan Sherman leaving the party with even some members of the party. Now, this particular year, how is the party going to ensure that this is going to be a free, transparent, credible election?
Rosalind, from the presentations that I've made, I think the party has laid the background, has been given, I've given everybody, all the presidential aspirants, the free space to campaign. None of the candidates up to today has come out to accuse the Presidential Elections Committee of bias. Nobody. There is no such report.
Not yet.
Nobody. As I'm saying, because...
Not yet.
Because we don't expect it now. You are asking me about what has happened so far up to now, and it has not happened.
But I'm asking, how are you ensuring, because we still have 17 days. Let's not forget, even the day of elections, we saw Kennedy Ejapong say that the system was rigging.
You see, one, we are not using any system of voting besides the physical voting. The people are standing there. They are in the queue voting. How do you rig? If we are using an electronic system to vote, we are not using an electronic system. We are using the physical system. And all of them, today, all of them have the album. All of them, nobody amongst them. All issues that they have raised has been attended to. The election committee is very meticulous on the activity. Very professional, very up, very clean, very... They do everything inclusivity. And kudos to them. That is why they are not being able to accuse them. They only talk about us.
So how transparent?
So when they talk about us as national officers, what I do know is that all of us as national officers, including them, has a vote. Okay? What I as a national officer is to display a complete sense of independence and also to be fair. But I cannot be neutral. I have a vote. I say it all the time. I cannot be neutral. But I must be fair as a leader.
So who are you voting for?
I'll vote for somebody.
Who?
Certainly.
Mention.
Because the vote is secret.
Okay. Because you're a party executive,
yes,
you don't want us to know who you're voting for.
Yes, but I'm just placing the point that no party executive is neutral. Everybody has a vote. But what it binds us is that we must be fair. And that is why we are being fair in everything that we do. So we have laid the foundation, the ground is there, and everything is set. The Electoral Commission has been given the power for the conduct of the elections by way of ballots and everything. The police service has been given the opportunity to handle the security. No party security is going to be involved.
Okay, that's
good. No party security. No person will have a personal security to do something. No. It's the Ghana Police Service. The venue for the elections has been selected by the Electoral Commission. Did not involve any of us. We have 277 polling centers. All the constituencies has a center, and the national headquarters has a center where I will be voting. So we have 277. Accreditation is going to be very strict. There's not going to be queuing. You come in, you trace your name, you vote, you leave. Voting will start at 7 and close at 2.
What happened to people that don't find their names in the book?
That is why we have exhibited. They've also brought us their input or their concerns. So certainly on the voting day, I don't think that some of these particular concerns will come. If they come, the Electoral Commission is mandated to deal with those particular matters. In the last elections, when some of us were there, when some of those issues came, we were able to address them by confirming from the other people whether the person is actually the right person or he's not the right person.
Okay, so there's a possibility the person will be able to vote.
Because we are human, maybe some errors may cross some of the lines unchecked.
Okay, so for those who are, you are granting amnesty to, are they still going to get the opportunity to vote?
Yes, those who have been granted amnesty and they were on suspensions, which was not made them to take their names out of the album, they will continue to be delegates and vote.
Okay,
yes.
That's good. Now, I want us to go into intra-politics. That's very, very concerning, because one of your biggest problems for 2024 elections was your intra-politics. It caused voter apathy. And so how are you ensuring that even after this, rivalry will not affect you coming together for election 2028?
Yes, intra-party politics is one of the difficult things to handle because it's among yourselves. You need to be very tactical and very careful about that. The National Party and the National Council of Elders of the party have sat. The Council of Elders have begun to call some of the people to talk to them. There are some measures that have been put, some teams have been put together to handle the after Congress of the elections, and the National Council of Elders are playing a very center stage, which is headed by our very own Dr. Hagman Osu-Ajiman, who is a seasoned politician who has been part of the formative levels of our party, the first treasurer of our party, who has played his role critically well, who is heading the National Council of Elders. We have very eminent people among the Council of Elders of our party who we have a very good trust in them to be able to deal with some of these particular matters. Other individuals have been called upon for us to have a unity talk after the conference. And I believe that the party will be very stronger after this particular conference.
Now, as I said, when we started our conversation, we spoke a bit about, Professor Frimpong. It looks like there's a bit, I don't know, but that's what people are saying, okay? There's a bit of a perception that there is no unity in the party.
Yes, it's good it's a perception, because it is very difficult.
A perception can affect you.
It's very good. That's why I'm saying it's a perception.
Yeah.
So when there's a perception, you also look at how you remedy some of those particular perceptions.
So how are you going to do it?
What we are doing is that some of those particular issues, when we hear that somebody has a certain dissenting view, that has not degenerated into a negative reproduction, then what we do is that we call on leadership visits. The acting national chairman has made several visits like that, and our very own chairman, Stephen Intim, has visited many other people in terms of that. One of which is the John Kume's place, the person that contested us as independent. It took our chairman to go and visit and get him back onto the party. So people will certainly have differences. And when you are in power, you have two parties. One is about your governance, and then the other is within the party structure. So now that we are not in power, we have one party to deal with, and the party is strategically looking at how to deal with that particular and remedy it to reduce it to the barest minimum.
So on this note, will there be stricter enforcement on people that actually, after the whole thing, they come out and speak negative about the party?
Whoever crossed the line after the elections, which deems...
even if the person is a candidate on the ballot sheet?
Nobody's above the law, not even me, not the national chairman, not the general secretary. Nobody's above the law. Our party's law is not like Ghana's law, where we would have an animal farm judge, that nobody is equal to the law. The others are more important than the others. But that's not what the national constitution said. But we have seen in recent times that a judge will say that in animal farm, no, not all the animals are equal. But the national constitution says we are equal. When the person even has to retire on his age, has to be given appointment again, and he's hidden at North East as the High Court judge.
Haruna. Really?
Yeah, he's there. He's the High Court judge in North East.
So your party won't do that?
No.
As for your party, you make sure that
everybody is equal before them.
Everybody is equal before them.
Remember, in our party, national chairman was suspended, general secretary was suspended.
We've seen it happen.
So if you are a candidate, then you are, because the national party is the biggest. You remember, the national chairman is the leader of the party. If he can be suspended, who is an aspirant?
How peaceful will this election be?
Very peaceful. Very, very peaceful. very, very peaceful. The police has continued to brief the elections committee. The election committee also briefed the National Party with regards to all the security arrangement. What we want to do is that we want to urge the members of the party that after elections, we need the party. We don't need individuals. We have a party to manage after the elections. So we should be careful about our commentaries. We should be careful about our actions and inactions. That is what we must all focus on. So that after the elections, you...
Ghana politics have been all the trending podcast stories in Ghana. Ehana onsa bekano. And then they can batch you so subscribe to channel. We are now what notification bell on. I don't know when I don't say boss. Say be the video of Rubia betuma on sabitumi akanentem. Na afin so video awuhi. Bit my like no share my for so nya bi na afi so akyere wadwan fa ho. Ni nyina ehu nyina to adwen ehu de. The Ghana man of some efa. Menti me hu adwen efa story hu. Na bibi eni a ini hu nkomo. Edamu na mase sama de bre. Na mo de tie. Sin bi Ghana police have all the trending podcasts in Ghana. Haya na Akroma.